Okay, it's 3 o'clock, and our final committee meeting of the day is the Budget and Finance Committee. Those committee members are Lombardo, Amobian, Fusco, Boyes, and Bolden. All committee members are present whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Clerk Viviano. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Budget and Finance meeting this afternoon. We have no older items, but wanted to start off with a approval of last week's meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. All right, several pieces come before us, so we'll get right into it. Number 2 is an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of notes in a maximum principal amount of $3 million in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to pay the cost of certain economic development projects in the city and declaring emergency. Mr. Fricker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is the first of 4 different debt issuance pieces that we're doing. This is our annual various purpose debt issuance. So we will pass an ordinance for each of the different project purposes. So we will have economic development, public facilities, recreation and parks, and streets. Those will be the next 4 ordinances. This particular one here, this is GeoDebt. It's for $3 million. This is for economic development, and this is primarily funding the local match for the demolition grants that we receive through the state of Ohio. So we had a local match on that, and this is funding, and it's for both residential and commercial demolition.
Okay. Is there any questions from any committee members or council members? I don't seeing any. Your pleasure.
Consent is fine
Consent
for this.
agenda. Okay, can I get a motion for consent?
Motion for consent.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very good. Put that on the consent agenda. Our next item is an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of notes in a maximum principal amount of $5 million in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to pay the cost of improving municipal buildings and facilities in the city by constructing, reconstructing, renovating, repairing roofs, remodeling, relocating, making site and other improvements, planning and designing facilities, and acquiring and installing related equipment, all as applicable, designed or to be designated by the Director of Public Services, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Fricker.
Thank you. So this is the second of the 4 ordinances. This is for public facilities. This will fund a wide variety of different buildings, including some of the parking decks, Fire Station 12, the remaining proceeds that went into that project, improvements to Canal Park Stadium, salt storage dome, our municipal building generator, and then many other projects. So those are just some of the big ones.
Right. Okay. Very good. Any questions from committee members or council members?
Mr. Chair,
Okay. Councilwoman Linda Mobian.
just a question. Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Fricka, you mentioned Fire Station 12. Is that included in the other piece you talked about, the building that's across from Acme, the old one? Are we demolishing that or selling it, or is anything going on with that?
So I believe we have a proposal, or we are trying to sell the building basically right
Okay.
now, is my understanding. Yeah.
Okay,
But
thank
this
you.
is for the construction of the new station. Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, I figured that, but you mentioned 12, and I just passed by, and I didn't know what we were doing with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Consent agenda.
Consent, correct.
Motion for consent.
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Item number 4, ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of notes in a maximum principal amount of $2 million in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to pay the cost of improving the city's municipal parks and recreational system by constructing, improving, and equipping parks and recreational facilities and declaring emergency. Mr. Fricker.
Thank you. So this is for the for recreation and parks, primarily funding our investments through the Akron Parks Challenge, also some improvements to community centers, as well as some of the Rubber City Heritage Trail.
Very good. Any questions from committee members or council members? Not seeing any.
Consent is
agenda.
fine.
Motion for consent, please.
So move.
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Item number 5, ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of notes in a maximum principal amount of $8 million in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to pay the costs of constructing, reconstructing, and otherwise improving certain streets in the city and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. So this is for our transportation projects. Those include the city's resurfacing program, annual resurfacing program, the Exchange Street project, the beginnings of the North Main Street project, it's including some of the Main Street project downtown, the concrete streets, so those are in the Bowery Bridge. So those are just some samples of the projects that are funded.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Any questions from committee members or council members? In your pleasure with
And
the
consent is-
consent also. Motion for consent.
So moved.
Second.
In a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Very good. Consent agenda. Number 6, an ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent or their designee to enter into an agreement or agreements without the formality of advertising for bids with Amazon, Grainger, WB Mason for the purchase of miscellaneous supplies and small dollar purchases used by various divisions and departments of the city for a period of 1 year, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Councilman Lombardo. This is our first piece of our procurement legislation that we're bringing forward for this year, for 2026. What this one specifically does is allow us to use Workday to enter into small dollar purchases for supplies and goods with WB Mason, Grainger, and Amazon. And what it really allows is our purchasing staff to reduce time. They don't have to bid this out because it's already been done. It's all small dollar thresholds, well under Board of Control, like 15,000 or less typically, and it really speeds up the process to make it a matter of minutes rather than days.
Right.
So
And this is an annual piece.
it is an annual piece.
Right.
These are all annual pieces.
Sure. And any questions from committee members? Councilman Bruce Bolden.
Thank you. Stuart, just one, small dollar is kind of a nebulous term. Do we have, so what is there a cap on what we can just order without going through a purchase order, things like that on these, or is it?
Well, these are actually issuing purchase orders to each of the companies
Okay.
individually, but typically small dollar, at least in terms of the city, is defined as 15,000 or less because that's what the
15,000
charter
or less?
defines
Okay,
as
and
Board
that's
of Control.
okay. All right. Okay, thank you.
Good question. In your pleasure to this, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Linda Amobian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know in the past we were trying to make sure we diversify our vendors. This still gives us an opportunity to look at local vendors and look at diversity and those kinds of things. Is that correct?
Amazon does actually have those controls built into the software, so we can actually individually look at that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, and your pleasure this afternoon would be
Consent agenda?
consent agenda. Very good. Can I get a motion for consent?
So move.
Second.
And there's a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda. It is. Number 7, an ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent or their designee to enter into a contract or contracts without the formality of advertising for bids for the purchase of annual subscriptions and maintenance packages for the software currently used by various departments of the city through December 31st, 2026, and declaring emergency. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you again. So this piece here represents all of the different software pieces that typically would be burdensome to go to back and bid for because it's not necessarily practical. An example would be the city is on Office 365, and that's an annual license. Another good example would be like Adobe software for all the PDFs that we use on a daily basis. And even Workday, which is which controls everything that we do from a financial and HR perspective.
Right, very good, yep. Any questions from committee members or council members? And would consent agenda, you have a question, Mr. Fisco?
So this is continuing these multi-year contracts?
Effectively, yes. So as opportunities arise to go out for bidding for different softwares we may not know about yet, we do it at that point. But this is truly for the software that we're currently using today that doesn't necessarily make sense to go out and competitively bid and then re-implement.
Do you have like a threshold in terms of like, although I guess they're all negotiated whenever you first sign the contract, so they're already capped in terms of how much the increase can be, and it's within the contracts, I'm guessing?
Typically.
They can't go.
We sign multi-year contracts,
Yeah.
and typically there is an escalator amount in, which is, it's not uncommon in the software world, and that, frankly, is one of the things that is a challenge, for us is, because it just is not practical to look at, replacing the type of software that we use, even if we have multi-year agreements every 3 years or every 5 years, it's just such a huge undertaking to implement a replacement software package for some of these big things that we use, like Workday, like our utility billing system, our tax system, all of those types of things.
Once they have you, they know they have you.
It's, to some degree, now, keep in mind, we do look, when we do see pricing challenges, it's something that, I'm not saying we don't ever consider that. Sometimes we'll look at that and say, this is getting expensive. Is there an alternative? Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. So it is something that we look at, but in most cases, it's not practical to switch over to a different system.
And something like Workday could be a year or multi-year deployment even, so you start adding on those additional costs after you've already bid out that kind of software that you're looking for.
So some of the software can be supported by others, not so much?
Some of it can, some is direct support through the vendor. Some, there's a variety of consulting firms that have people with that expertise for that particular piece of software, so it can vary.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it really depends on the software that you're using as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Very good. Would consent agenda be okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, motion for consent. Your motion for consent? Yeah,
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Item number 8 is an ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent or their designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for the purchase of materials and services needed by the various divisions and departments of the city for a period of time not to exceed 5 years, and approving the specifications therefore, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you. So this is our annual bid ordinance. It does say not to exceed 5 years. That doesn't mean some of these contracts won't come in under that threshold, but typically it can be anywhere in between. And this is everything that we intend to buy or procure competitively bid out over the next year for the departments and divisions that are listed.
Okay. Questions from committee members or council members? Councilwoman Tina Boyes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I noticed that this was for up to 5 years, and I'm just curious if you know offhand our mowing services. Typically, how long do we have contracts for those things?
So mowing service is typically a contract that's bid out for 3 years, and it will be going to bid next year.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Speaking of that, if there is a contract for 3 years and the company is not up to speed after year one. Is there something in the contract to say it's going to be over soon?
That is up,
Typically, we have provisions in the contract that if the work is not being performed to our satisfaction, that we could terminate the contract.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Consent agenda okay for this?
Yes, please.
All right, we have a motion for consent. Anybody?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. See, that's on consent. Item number 9 is an ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent or their designee to enter into an agreement or agreements without the formality of advertising for bids for the purchase of miscellaneous supplies, services, repair parts, and labor for machinery and equipment used by various divisions and departments of the city for a period of 1 year, authorizing payment, therefore, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler?
Thank you. So this is our final procurement piece for 2026. And what this legislation is authorizing is foregoing the formality of bidding in areas where it doesn't make sense. For example, in fire, right off the bat, it doesn't necessarily make sense for ambulances to always have to be competitively bid because there is such specialized equipment in there, and there's only a handful of vendors that can really do that. So again, we have everything listed. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Makes sense. Any questions from committee members or council members?
This is also known as sole source?
It can be in some instances. I think a lot of times that the vendors in here are, for the most part, somewhat sole source, but it can be a combination.
Then if it's not sole source, then how is the criteria developed?
So for example, like fire and their uniforms right off the bat again, we're just saying we're going to split the order partially because of the union contracts, but also partially because it doesn't make sense to bid it out individually when we're going to split the award anyways.
Okay, and obviously all that is pursuant to state law.
Yes.
Okay. Consent agenda, okay?
So this one I'd like to take time on. There was a mistake that was made on the information technology section because we received some last minute information where the vendor is actually now providing a different set of switches, and we want to make sure that we're being consistent. So we're going to introduce a substitute next week.
Very good. So can I get a motion for time?
So moved.
Yes, I just have another question.
Great.
Just another question. Do you, and it's somewhat related, I'm seeing here, where'd it go? I could have, tire, oh, there it is. Various departments, the tire disposal, the lightener tire. We used to have a problem with it. I think we still do to a smaller extent. Do we track what they're doing with it? Is that part of the agreement with them in terms of reporting back to us exactly what they're doing with them once they get them from us?
I mean, Lightner's kind of a unique situation where they can only accept so many tires a day to begin with.
Yeah.
And once they've reached that amount, they can't accept any more for the day.
Okay. But what do they do with them after we give it to them? That's the question.
I believe
Okay,
they
so,
take it.
yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at the contract
Yeah.
to see if we have parameters in there about what their disposal process is for the tire.
Yeah, because it has been a problem in the past, and, you know, I mean, it's not a joke, but I mean, conceivably, they could be dumping them somewhere, and, oh, you gotta come and pick them up again, and.
So Lightner is a unique situation where
Yeah.
they do work closely with the EPA. So
Okay.
I don't think they're out there necessarily dumping them, but the EPA doesn't.
I'm sure they're
a
not.
lot
I'm sure
of-
that, but I'm just curious
I
more
get
than
that.
anything, so that, you know, yeah, just curious more than anything, so, and if they're recycling them, that would be even better, obviously, so, yeah, thank you.
Don't jinx us with the tire dumping. Don't jinx it. Okay, you asked for time, and we need to do that again. Can I get a motion for time?
So moved.
Second.
In a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, well, that'll be on time. Thank you. Our last piece is in number 10, ordinance amending ordinance number 107-2025, passed March 31st, 2025, which established the annual appropriation for the current expenses, other expenditures, and the capital outlays of the city of Akron for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler?
Thank you. So I'm going to have Teresa Klein, our audit and budget manager, pass out memos that should be distributed.
Okay.
And the memo kind of explains why we're asking for this amendment. Primarily, the biggest piece of this is the cost of living increases across the board that came in higher than anticipated. So as we go through every section, we'll see that kind of consistently, that the big piece is cost of living and overtime for the divisions. Some of the other highlights in here besides that is in our Income Tax Capital Improvement Fund, we're asking for additional funds to cover some public works equipment that was ordered to keep their operations running smoothly. For the Community Environments Fund, we are asking to add budget for additional grants that were awarded in grant capacity. For Street and Highway, similar, that's also another one where wages and benefits came in higher, as mentioned. In Section 16, the Various Purpose Fund, that is to allow us to draw down the interest from the ARPA fund and supplant our general fund balance, as we discussed earlier in the year. There's about $8 million in interest that we're going to be drawing to kind of cover everything that we've been talking about. In Section 18, we are in the midst of implementing Project Acorn. I believe that's been discussed quite extensively, and this is to cover the costs. It's a reimbursable grant, so we have to spend the funds to get the funds. For public facilities, the big one there is the cost in the other category attributable to Cascade Plaza and the garage area. And I think that's pretty much the highlights, but if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Is there any questions? Councilman Fusco?
Why, thank you, Chair. The referencing, oh shoot, I lost it again. The municipal court clerk, 125,000 for, that's for,
That is to finish off the implementation of the Tyler Odyssey project.
okay, all right. I thought so. I think we voted on that just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and I believe it's up and running. They seem to be liking it. I do believe it's going well, and it's well received, is my understanding.
Cool, cool. Thank you.
We have a question from Councilwoman Linda Amobian.
Yes, Mr. Wheeler, you indicated we have how much in ARPA interest money left?
About $8 million that we're going to be drawing.
And that is unencumbered at this point?
It is going to be used to cover police and fire salaries. I believe we talked about that in the budget hearings back in March.
This was one of our revenue sources for the general fund, was the ARPA interest.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. And no other questions here. What would be your pleasure for this one?
Just time. Ms.
Time? You want to take time on this? Okay. I get a motion for time?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second for time. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Time
Thank
is-
you.
Thank you.
And with that, no other business. Our Budget and Finance meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
That is the final committee meeting today. Council will meet in regular session at 6:30. Thank you.
Thank you.